Welcome everybody to another podcast. I want to welcome Karen Guzak of the Yoga Circle Studio here in Snohomish. Many of you may already know her, but for those that don't, welcome Karen.
Thank you very much, Katharine. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. Tell people where they can find the studio.
Well, the studio's been here since November 2003. It's at 7th and Pine, right along the Centennial Trail. And we have a beautiful studio that we've been working on for a long time and welcoming people here for almost 17 years. So it's a really safe and beautiful place where people can come and enjoy themselves thoroughly while practicing yoga.
So as we're speaking, I'm going to make the assumption you are sitting in the studio and the beautiful background is part of it.
I'm sitting in the office right now, so the studio is much bigger and a little too echoey for our Zoom interview today. So I'm in the office, but yes, there's a lot of art in the studio. It's my artwork, and I've been a long time practicing visual artist, and in the last 30 years have been practicing yoga and 20 years teaching.
Lovely. So the type of people that are finding themselves needing some relaxation, needing some relief, can you speak to...
That's all of us right now, isn't it? That's all of us.
Yeah. It is, totally. And so can you speak to how yoga can help with the COVID stresses and help people and their families?
Right. Well, yoga is really a practice that calls you to yourself, to the present moment, to present moment awareness, to care and self-kindness. So we practice yoga through postures of the body, different postures that very efficiently work every joint, every muscle, and do so gently and with great care and self-awareness. And then also deep breathing is a wonderful way to calm the nervous system. And it's one of the simplest things because we're always breathing all the days of our lives from our first breath to our last breath, but frequently are not bringing our attention to breath and to body. And so that awareness of breath and body is amazingly calming on the nervous system, on your vascular system, on your respiratory system, and helping your muscles to relax and still also engage building strength and flexibility. So yoga is a full body, full mind experience and one that is very healing.
Wow. Well, now if that doesn't bring everybody in, I don't know what would. That was fabulous. So for a beginner, I'm going to assume there are beginner classes. And what style of yoga would that be?
Well, most of the gentle classes are welcoming beginners, but the style of yoga is generally hatha. It's a general style of yoga. We do a few flow classes here, but most of our clients really like the gentle and slower classes. And they are the classes that are most conducive to people being aware of moving slowly, of breathing slowly, of really settling into the postures and into the practice and feeling so good during and after this practice.
So are you doing very small social distancing classes, or are you strictly online right now?
Right now, we're strictly online. We do have a few private clients that have come to the studio, as we can have up to 5 people. We've had very few, but we've been even doing online private classes too. But mostly we've been doing live streaming, and we have about 7 classes a week, I think, live streaming over a Zoom type platform. And then we also have a video library. So I've been having a good time myself videotaping mostly me in different poses, chair yoga and yin yoga and gentle yoga and butts and guts for geezers, and putting them on in our video library to invite people then to watch at any time.
Excellent. On your suggestion, I did go look at your site and was...
Good, Katharine.
It's quite extensive, and that's nice to see.
Yes. Well, my husband, my partner, Warner Blake, is my web guy, and he's a wonderful writer and photographer and video editor, and so he's just a great partner for me, and we're all very proud of the website. So, and as you notice, if you looked, we have little videos of all of our teachers, little 1 or 2 minute videos, so people can get acquainted with the teachers and get acquainted with sort of what the practice can be like.
Yes, it was Quite well done, quite extensive.
Thank you.
So let's talk about how yoga can change somebody's life, and we'll add in at the end of this little question also those that are skeptical. So let's start with someone coming in and starting yoga and just finding it so fulfilling that it changes things at home. Do you have stories around something like that?
We do have stories like that. I hear that on a regular basis. And if I look at my own life, I started doing yoga when I was 50 and was just, working really hard as a public artist and a visual artist and going through, separation and divorce. And I found yoga just a place where I could be at home and be calm and still move my body and feel the life energy within me. And then when I turned 60, I took my teacher training and found that going deeper into the practice and deeper into the poses and deeper into the philosophy of yoga and the history of yoga, it just opened up all sorts of new worlds to me. Not only the history, but the present moment. I started reading more philosophers and working with other teachers, and have found that also yoga supported me. I don't know if you know, but I was for 12 years on city council here in the city of Snohomish, and for 7 years the mayor of the city. So I was the yogi mayor and used yoga to support me in being present and listening to our community members, being responsive, but at the same time, finding balance and harmony between what government can do and what government can't do, and finding that a personal safe space for myself so that I could handle the stresses and strains of being mayor at the same time, keeping calm and centered. So for my own self, yoga has been life transforming, and I think for many other people as well.
Do you have some specific students that their story you can speak to as to how it changed things in their life, and did they include more family members? Was it
we do have clearly we have more women that come to yoga than men, but we do have quite a few women who want to get their husbands to come to yoga because they think it will help their relationship. And in fact, it often has. When the men come, and many come skeptical, and frequently men like, I can't do yoga because I'm too stiff. And I'm going, if you can just breathe, come in and feel good with this. But there is a kind of community that we've certainly created here at Yoga Studio, and community not only of all the yogis who work here, but within families too. And I've really seen that sort of sense of we're in this together, and we're caring for each other, and we're caring for our own health and well-being.
Nice. Now, do you also have a young person's children's group? Do you do things of that nature?
Well, we have in the past done children's yoga, but I haven't been able to fill classes. So we tell parents that they're welcome to bring their kids anytime if they think that their child can, be attentive for an hour or an hour and more and have a good time. And we've had mostly success with that. We've had kids from, like 7 to 17, and they're all welcome. We also have had a few yogis that have been pregnant and can bring their babies in if their babies are still in a car seat or something. We love having babies here.
For parents of older children, but children that have challenges physically or emotionally, has yoga been a good place for them?
I would say that it has. Teenagers, of course, are welcome to come to class without parents, and we do have a few teenagers that do that. And we've had a few folks with special needs. And I find that because yoga promotes self-acceptance and really is a safe and calming place, that those people who have special needs have found a home here and have found benefit.
Excellent. So speaking to the mindset, oh, I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes, or I can't do yoga because I can't concentrate.
Right.
How do you speak to that?
Well, I tell people, okay, you can't touch your toes. Does that matter? It doesn't matter at all in your life. Can you breathe? Can you show up? Can you pay attention for just at least a little bit? Then if you can breathe and show up and pay attention for a little bit, you can practice yoga. So come in and give it a try. We also laugh a lot and have a good time and are very kind with each other and kind with ourselves. And some people are certainly, inherently stiff. Some people are stronger, some people weaker, some people more flexible. I occasionally have a student who is too flexible, hyper flexible, and then we have to work on building strength. But we can accommodate all kinds of bodies, all kinds of personalities, all kinds of ages, and just help people become more confident and more serene and more accepting of who they are and where they are and what they're doing and what they're thinking, and more aware of their actions and their emotions. And yoga is a practice really of awareness to deepen our awareness.
That's excellent. So I'm thinking, as you were speaking about the different personalities, so someone comes in and not maybe overtly combative, but you can feel it in their body.
Oh.
How do you help them relax? How do you help them move into and not be so,
Well, first of all, people like that. I've had a few, typically not, but a few. When I ask them to go to the back of the room and to be comfortable, and I usually give them lots of bolsters and blankets. And in the days when I could rub shoulders, then I would rub shoulders and make people more comfortable. Often, sometimes, if there's a kind of high energy or sort of nervous energy in the class, I'll have everybody start by lying down and closing their eyes and bringing their fingertips to their belly and then to their chest, and just spend some time breathing and relaxing and just going really deep. And sometimes that first 2 or 3 minutes of just relaxing and breathing, closing your eyes so you're not seeing other people, you're not comparing yourself to other people, can be very centering and calming. And sometimes we'll do that. Start by lying down. Just close your eyes and see if you can deep breathe.
So that's interesting. When I'm listening to that, you explain that, it also produced a picture for me of someone that comes in that is very competitive and changes the energy. Is that you operate in the same way? Everybody lays down and releases, or how do you do with, what do you do with that?
Well, it depends. So those people who are really competitive are more attracted to the more vigorous classes, the vinyasa flow classes. And so frequently those are the classes that where they'll find inspiration, and they may be able to manifest their competitive self. And now I usually ask people, I said, to pay attention. So are you competing against me or against your neighbor? Are you competing against yourself? And if you are competing, how's that working for you? And have you injured yourself in the past through competition? And yoga is not about injuring yourself, but about being more aware of who you are. Yes. But, sometimes you get somebody who's really young and really go-getter, and they want to come in and prove something. And then we just sort of, try to calm and be more gentle and see if we can have those people be comfortable in who they are and how they are at that moment in time. I sometimes say to yogis, so, if you want to suffer, don't suffer in yoga. You can suffer outside of yoga.
Right?
Before yoga and after yoga, but not in yoga. Yoga is not about suffering.
So I'm also going to make the assumption with the different instructors, therapists, yoga therapists you have, that you can maybe funnel personalities so that it's a better fit than one class than the other.
Yes, and I think the students who come and try us kind of self-select if they want a more vigorous class or they want a more gentle class, and self-select with the teachers too. And all of our teachers are slightly different, and that's what I want. I want all the teachers to be somewhat different, give people different experiences. And so often what we have is a new student special, 2 weeks for $40, and you can come in and try as many teachers as you want in 2 weeks. You can come 3 times a day, when those days when we were open, and try the teachers and find the places where you really fit and where you feel most comfortable.
Well, that's excellent because it does that people like choice and they like to kind of figure out where they belong.
Right. Of course, right now we all belong on live stream, right?
Right. As it goes.
Less than ideal, but nevertheless what we've got. So we accept what we've got, do the best we can.
Well, and I think it also is broadening people's capacity for change.
Thank you very much, Katharine. Good for you.
Well, we all have to embrace it if we're going to
That's right.
get through this
Right.
kind of a mess that we have.
As I often say, opportunity for spiritual growth. Can you be patient? Can you be persistent? Can you be humorous? Can you find grace in the moment? And then you might lose it, but then come back again. Come back to patience, persistence, and come back to kindness.
Excellent.
Always kindness, always kindness.
Yeah. So I want to touch on what the different instructors and therapists, yoga therapists do, as in how they teach, obviously online, group setting as opposed to a one-on-one. What would a yoga therapist be helping somebody with in a one-on-one setting?
Well, typically, and we have two yoga therapists here, Elizabeth Gray is one of them, but typically, if somebody's coming to yoga therapy, they've got some issue. They've got scoliosis, or they've got Lyme disease, or they have multiple sclerosis, or they have some issue where they really need to use yoga for their particular situation and for their particular health. And so that yoga therapist will set up the session to work to those particular and personal needs, and bring people through gently into a greater sense of wholeness and health and greater awareness, and modify poses so that everybody can be comfortable. That's so important. And as I mentioned kindness earlier, but kindness is, at the heart of our practice. The Sanskrit word for that is ahimsa. It means non-harming, but it manifests as kindness. It really does. And learning to be kind with ourselves and kind with each other.
But what makes your yoga studio, what makes your instructors and instruction different than, say, somebody going to Spark?
Hot yoga?
Yeah. People bring that up and talk about it, and so I'm giving them a side by side. Tell me what that difference would be.
Well, yeah, hot yoga is really a relatively new form of yoga, and it does attract people who want to work a little harder, who want to sweat, and also it attracts those people who are a little more competitive. Now, that's just my point of view of it. And personally, I feel that the more people that do yoga, whether it's hot yoga or gentle yoga or yin yoga or hatha yoga or whatever it is, the better the world is, the more people that do yoga. But personally, for me, when I'm involved in a hot situation, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel at peace. I feel like I'm stressing and gasping, and it's not a peaceful practice. So for us at our studio, that peace of mind is actually really important. And finding yoga as a healing practice, not as a stressing practice, not as a suffering practice, but as a healing practice. And so that's generally the difference, I think, between a hot yoga studio and our studio, which is, I think, a little calmer and kinder and more therapeutic.
So I'm just going to kind of wind off of that one, because that piqued my thought pattern around people that are in high competitive sports.
Yeah.
How do these work side by side, or is yoga something that is, across the board? It can be, I know, for anybody, but the hot yoga sounds like, somebody that is like an intense long distance runner or something of that nature. I'm just trying to have an understanding for the people that are listening.
Well, somebody who's a long distance runner might be attracted to the hot yoga. I don't know. But also we have long distance runners who actually want a more relaxed and calm slow stretching approach rather than that huffing and puffing that you get in hot yoga. So we've had a number of athletes who've come to our classes that are more gentle classes and have found great benefit here and a kind of respite from their competitive nature and calmer and sweeter place to be.
So it's just really, it's just finding your niche, and it's a personal choice.
Isn't that right? And isn't that in life? We find our niche in life.
Well, let's hope we all do.
Well, you know, life is about learning, yes, and, you know, trying different things. And so
The journey of it all.
that's right. That's right.
So I'm feeling that we have covered quite a bit. Is there anything you would like to add that we have not spoken to about your studio and yoga?
Well, Katharine, I think your questions have been good, and I'm very happy to introduce people who don't know about Yoga Circle Studio to us. And please encourage people to go to the website and look at the video library. I've done most of those videos myself, and it's actually had really a lot of fun doing that and exploring some chair yoga and geezer yoga.
Geezer, I like the sound of that one.
Well, I'm the chief geezer here, so I loved it. I looked up geezer on the web, and it's some grouchy old guy. And I'm thinking, well, I'm actually not grouchy, but I am old, and I'm not a guy. So I'm 81 now, and so, and you know, yoga has been supporting me for a long time, and so I think yoga is great for, you know, a great way to guide us into our golden years, and do so with grace and humor.
Well, your vibrancy and your appearance will speak volumes at 81. That's amazing.
Right.
If
That's
that
why
doesn't get us all to yoga, I don't know what would.
that, as I say, I'm good for a geezer. So, and we have a good time for sure. And we're very welcoming here. And, you know, we have to do right now online until we can go to phase 3. And we're waiting for the governor, though I read today that Snohomish County may have to go back to phase 1 because the COVID cases have increased. But when we do go to phase 3, we'll be able to get in-studio classes at 50% capacity, and, you know, with stringent cleaning protocols. But we'll also continue to live stream while we do in-studio classes when we get to phase 3. And I keep thinking, oh, it's going to happen, but it's not. So meanwhile, we're live streaming and have our on-demand video library.
Excellent.
Really, I'm happy to chat with you and be a part of this, because I think that the more of us that are involved in these healing practices and spreading the good word, the better the world will be.
Well, and Snohomish has grown, and not everybody knows all that goes on in this town, and this is a good vehicle. So with that,
yeah, we're still a little city, only 10,000 people, but we serve like 60,000. But with that, I saw you almost put your hands to namaste, Katharine.
I want to thank you so much for coming on and taking time out of your day. It's been enlightening. And once again, the background is beautiful. Thanks. And the forefront of the geezer, yeah. Just truly, truly beautiful. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And namaste. Namaste means I acknowledge the light within me and the light within you and our connection. Even though it's now over Zoom, we still are connected. So namaste.
It's an energy.
It is. It's good.
Hey everybody, if you have enjoyed this video and you've seen some of the others, please give it a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel for future interviews that are coming up, and learn more about the local practitioners you live around and with here in Snohomish. Thanks.